Over a 7-year period, several of us ventured north to Bayfield, Wisconsin from sunny Florida to try our luck at ice fishing on Lake Superior. Since most people have never experienced ice fishing on the Big Lake, the next several photos will illustrate that activity. They are in no particular order, but generally oldest to newest. The years were 2003 to 2009. Our first trip in '03 shows Carl Dahl and his nephew Robert enjoying a beer outside Sharon Cameron's fish shack. Sharon is Carl's sister-in-law. Basswood Island can be seen behind the shack. Bob Dahl holds an early fish caught on one of those trips. We were fishing in about 90 feet of water on the ice field near the east side of Bayfield, Wisconsin. On a later trip, we tried our luck on the south side of Bayfield. It was warm, around freezing, so we fished without tents. Carl Dahl and Jimmy Edwards, our cousin, admire a fish caught in about 110 feet of water under the ice between Bayfield and Madeline Island. This photo was taken in 2005. One of many evening activities was a trip to Madeline Island over the ice road to drink at Bell Street Tavern. This photo features Mary Lampa Lang, Bob Dahl, Gail Kinney, and Lee Meadows. Our days of ice fishing usually began with the group gathering for breakfast. From left we have Jimmy Edwards, Bob Dahl, Lee Meadows, Jimmy Smith, Ron Harrod, Carl Dahl, Pete Lindell, and Johnny Nelson. Johnny Nelson displays the only fish we caught one day. This fish was hooked within 20 minutes of our setting up. These are two small fish we caught one year. The harvest was never large, both in numbers or in fish size. The larger fish were farther out and miles off the ice road, so we tended to stay closer to town. Larry Southworth from Florida meets new friends at Gillnet Tug as Carl talks to old friends, along with visits to Little Sand Bay, Morty's, the east side of Madeline Island, and Bell Street Tavern. The Gillnet Tug was always on our schedule. These two fish were not caught by Larry and I, but they made a good photo prop. They were caught by others in our party. The Holy Family Catholic Church once again served a delicious fish dinner to us on a Friday night. Robert, Hank, Lee, and Bob faced Carl and Pete Lindell at a table in the dining hall. Another night at Bell Street Tavern on Madeline Island with Jimmy Smith in the orange knit cap, Larry Southworth from Florida, and Sharon and Carl Dahl. This photo shows Hank Brightmoser from Florida sitting in one of our several tents. We all enjoyed our stay on the ice. It was really quite calm and peaceful. We stayed at Bayfield on the Lake for our last trip in 2009. Sitting are Larry Southworth and Bob Dahl. On the far left is Robert Dahl talking on the phone to his wife-to-be Beth Westland. Lee Meadows is in the gold sweater. Carl Dahl is sitting at the bar with Sharon Dahl and Gail Kinney in back. Gail, Sharon, and Carl's wife Linda made a surprise dinner for us all that was ready upon our arrival at the condo. The Friday night Holy Family Catholic Church fish fry was a must when we visited during Lent. In this photo we see Larry Southworth, Judy and Pete Lindell, Carl and Sharon Dahl. Opposite on the right are Bob Dahl, Lee Meadows, and Robert Dahl. Hank took many of this year's photos, so he wasn't always in them. Bayfield on the Lake condos. This photo was taken standing out on the ice. We stayed in a large 5-bedroom unit on the left, 3rd floor. The Florida group was treated to a talk at the Bayfield Heritage Association by Carl and Bob Dahl. They filled the back row. Seated are Robert Dahl, Hank Brightmoser, Lee Meadows, Larry Southworth, and my cousin Harold Dahl, both from Sand Island and Minneapolis, and his wife Sharon. One can search Bayfield Heritage Association Sand Island Dahl site on YouTube to see a recording of this program. Bobby Nelson introduces the brothers to the standing room only crowd. It was the dead of winter, so it was surprising that so many people showed up for this talk. 3 old Sand Islanders meet at the Bayfield Heritage. Carly Dahl, Mary Hewlings Rice, and Bobby Dahl all grew up on Sand Island together. Our last stop before leaving Bayfield was breakfast at the Northern Edge. The restaurant has since closed. From left are Carl, Robert, Bob, Hank, Larry, and Lee.